Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also apologies if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it can't be helped, and hopefully it's not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2024 related video here on my channel, and as I'm talking to you now, it is Monday the 6th of May. Tomorrow night sees the first semi-final of the 2024 edition of the Eurovision Song Contest take place live in Malmö, Sweden. Today I'm going to be going through the songs involved in that show one by one and giving you my brief thoughts on them, and then I'll be telling you my prediction for tomorrow night's outcome. As always, you are welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So here it is, the week of the 2024 ESC. All being well, there will be 6 videos from me over the course of this week. The one that you're watching now. Tomorrow, a reaction to the semi-final results as they come in. On Wednesday, a review of Semi 1, a preview of Semi 2, and a prediction for the results there. On Thursday, a reaction to the semi-final 2 results as they come in. On Friday, a review of Semi 2, a preview of the grand final, a very rough prediction for the grand final results, and a possible reaction to the grand final running order. And then on Saturday, a long video from me reacting to all of the results as they come in. And then this time next week, maybe on the Monday, maybe on the Tuesday, maybe on the Wednesday, I don't know yet, there will be a long rambling review of the entire contest, the results, the semi-finals, the whole shebang. And then I will take a break from YouTube because it can be quite tiring at this time of year. So, semi-final 1, tomorrow night. It's on at 8 PM here in the UK on BBC One. And I'm sure it's being streamed online as well. There are 15 countries involved. They'll all vote alongside 3 of the automatic qualifiers, Germany, Sweden and the UK, and the rest of the world. And it's worth saying, of course, that Isaac for Germany, Marcus and Martinez for Sweden, and Ollie Alexander for the UK, they will perform their songs in full in between some of the semi-finalists, sort of breaking up the flow of the show ever so slightly. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's go through the songs one by one, and then I'll tell you my prediction. And I will post this prediction on my community page here on YouTube after I've finished filming this, and on a few other social media pages as well. So, Cyprus will get things going. This is Cilia Capsis with Lyre. It's a pretty basic pop bop, fairly accessible stuff. She's quite young but already fairly experienced. She's got dancers with her on stage. The stage does look very empty for this though, which is a bit of a shame because it is a fairly lively number, and I feel as though it's coming across as quite cold and clinical when really it should be quite warm and inviting. This is in a spot of bother. A lot of people see this as a borderline qualifier. The running order doesn't matter too much in the semi-finals, but this is on first. Will this be forgotten about quickly? Who knows? Song 2 is Serbia, Teodora Ramonda. This is a ballad. It's a bit darker, a bit gloomier. The staging has been elevated a tad from the national final performance. She's a great singer, but this is between 2 more bouncy type numbers. Could this be forgotten about? I don't know. Song 3 is Lithuania, Sylvester Belt with Luktelk. This is a bouncy tune. It's executed in a fairly casual manner. It's not too different from what we had at the Lithuanian national final. He is a consistently decent performer, and even with no diaspora vote, you've got to be saying that this is likely to go through. Song 4 is Ireland, Doomsday Blue by Bambi Thug. This is coming up on the rails like you wouldn't believe. I always talk about momentum and how crucial that is. The staging is massively different really from what we had at the Irish national final. This song is now getting the chance to shine. It always had the potential to really make a lot of an impact just before the live shows. It looks gothic, it looks spooky, it looks dark, it looks engaging, and even if this song is not a lot of people's cup of tea, they might still be really intrigued to see how the performance pans out. They're not going to want to look away from it, because what will happen next? Then we have Ukraine, Teresa and Maria by Aliona and Jerry Hale. This is looking very strong. It's quite melancholic, but there is a sense of hope to this as well. A very powerful rehearsal clip, vocally impressive. Ukraine have never not qualified for the final. Then we have Poland, Luna with the Tower. The staging might be a bit over people's heads. It seems to be a little bit cluttered. They're going for a chess theme, which of course mimics the music video for this song. Vocally shaky, but Poland have voting pals every year, and if they're out in force, this song could be seen as a pretty safe qualifier. We mustn't forget the criticism, and I know it's a different song, but last year there was criticism about Blanca and Solo. It's a cheap song, she can't perform it well, blah blah blah, and then she cruised through to the final and did well in the final with the public. This is a different sounding song, but could the same thing happen again? We wait and see. Closing the first half is the favourite to win, Croatia, Rim Tim Tagi Dim Baby Lasagna. This is the ultimate underdog story. Wasn't even supposed to be in the Croatian national selection, and then he was drafted in at the last minute. He won Dora by a crushing margin. People are loving this song. Croatians are very enthusiastic about their own entry in a way that I've not really seen in all the years I've been watching Eurovision. There is a touch of the Karga cha-cha-cha about it, but this is its own thing. It's lively, it's colourful, it's energetic, and it stands out a lot. Moving into the second half, we have Hera Björk, the returning Hera Björk after 2010, for Iceland with Scared of Heights. This is a very safe, somewhat bland pop song. There's not much to the staging. She's an alright vocalist, although I wouldn't say that she's blown me away so far in the rehearsal footage that I've seen, or indeed at the national final several months ago. It's an okay tune, but really, is there anything about this that is strong enough to make us feel as though it's a qualifier? I'm not sure there is. Then we have Slovenia, Raven with Veronica. Well, here we have an excellent vocalist, consistently strong. The song, it's atmospheric and mysterious, and there is a story behind it, and whether people are willing to find out that story, I'm thinking about neutral viewers here, whether they're willing to find out the story of this song or not, I don't know. Maybe that would help them appreciate this a bit more. The staging seems alright, but I wouldn't have gone for such a bright looking performance, if you see what I mean. Anyway, I like it, and I like the fact that it feels so different from anything else really in this semi-final. But many people are seeing it as a borderline qualifier. Then we have Finland. This is Windows 95 Man, No Rules. This is obviously a very silly track. We have a man parading about in very little at all. The vocals are very, very messy if you ask me, and haven't really improved that much. They're better than they were, but they're still not brilliant if you ask me. Not the vocals are super crucial at Eurovision, if you ask me. We have quite a bit to the staging. It's obviously very engaging, and to first-time viewers, they're going to think this is probably a lot of fun, but also a tad cringeworthy. Nevertheless, in the eyes and ears of many, this is likely to go through. Then it's Moldova, another returning act from 2007 this time. Natalia Barbu within the middle. Great singer. The staging is different from how it was at the Moldovan national selection. She's alone on stage. She's got the violin. She's in a white dress. This just looks really bare. And she seems very lonely on that stage. And I don't think this is the sort of performance that a lot of people are really going to be too invested in. And we usually expect great things from Moldova when it comes to the staging, but this year it's all looking a little bit uninspired and fairly disappointing. Then it's Azerbaijan. This is Ozun Leopard by Fari and Ilkin Dovlatov. This is quite nice. There's something very relaxing and pleasant about this song. We've got the hands sort of emerging from the floor of the stage. It's very grey, it's quite gloomy. The song maybe doesn't really build up to much. And although the vocals are consistently good, the song is maybe a bit of a letdown. Then it's Australia, Electric Fields. And this is a very nice track, One Milk Alley, One Blood. Quite colourful, fairly vibrant. We've got the didgeridoo. This is a completely different sounding song in the mix. You know, it definitely stands out in that regard. Quite traditional sounds as well. However, I think we were expecting more from the staging, and maybe that could be this song's downfall. Does it stand out enough? And we know that Australia can struggle sometimes with the public, and this is a 100% public vote semi-final. The last two songs, Portugal, Iolanda with Grito. Well, I love this. This is a sort of monochrome performance. Iolanda's there in white. She has dancers with her in white. Vocally, fantastic. It's very powerful. There's this big, almost winning, if you see what I mean, winning moment right at the end where she has that big note. Fantastic. It's a shame the juries aren't involved, because if they were involved, I'd be saying this is cruising through. As such, it could be a little bit nervy for Portugal tomorrow night, but surely this is good enough to go through. Then we have Luxembourg, returning for the first time since the early 90s. Their closing proceedings. This is Tally with Fighter. It's an alright pop song. There doesn't seem to be too much to the staging. There's a bit of pyro, a little bit of energy. She's got these pigtails. It's perfectly fine, but it could also be deemed a bit of a lackluster song to round out the semi-final. Anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, wasn't it? Let's now go through the prediction. So I'm looking at my spreadsheets here. This prediction was made over the past few days and was finalised yesterday evening, so bear that in mind. As has been the case for several years now, each entry is judged out of 100 in 6 different categories. The categories have stayed pretty much the same for several years, but I've been making predictions for Eurovision for so long now. I have notes going back to 2006, 2007 somewhere. And I usually predict about 8 out of 10 correctly in every semi-final, so bear that in mind. The songs have been judged in terms of the vocals, so that's based on the rehearsal footage, national final performances if we've had them, and pre-party performances. We then have the staging, that's based on the rehearsal footage and the photographs on the Eurovision website. The betting odds as of yesterday, so as of the 5th of May 2024. Stage presence and confidence. Are the artists in question owning the performance? This is something I talk about all the time. It might be a bit of a bad song in the eyes of many, but if it's executed well, that could mean points, 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 could it not? Then we have momentum. That's another really important thing. A song might not be seen as winning material necessarily, but it's coming up on the rails like you wouldn't believe. That can work in your favour. Guess which country I've ranked highly there. I'll give you a clue. It's Ireland. And then we have my prediction, which is if I didn't do any of this stat business, it's just ranking the songs, boom, 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 there it is. Nothing else is taken into consideration. Then you work out the average score, and you have your result. Now, I don't know what it's like for you, but half of the time you want your prediction to be wrong, because you want your favourites to progress, and sometimes you've predicted your favourites to miss out. So I'm looking at my semi-final 1 prediction, and to be honest, I'd be quite happy if it was slightly wrong. And as I said a moment ago, I usually predict 8 out of 10. So I'm looking at this semi-final 1 prediction right now, and honestly, yeah, 2 of the songs I've said are going to go through, could easily miss out. And I've seen a few other people's predictions over the past 24 hours or so, fairly similar, but everybody's got a slightly different opinion. So, without further ado, let's go through this in a random order, because why not? The first qualifier, making the final in this prediction, is Ukraine. Yes, indeed. Scoring highly in terms of the vocals, the staging, the betting odds, absolutely. This is a serious contender to win. Ukraine always go through. They may as well forget about tomorrow and start planning for Saturday night. The second qualifier is Finland. Yes, I am expecting this to go through. Not marked highly in terms of the vocals, but the betting odds have definitely helped this over the line. The third qualifier is Lithuania, Luktelk, a nice song, very likely to go through with relative ease, and what else is there to say about it? I've not seen anybody say this is going to miss out. The fourth qualifier is Serbia, Ramonda, a lovely song, as I said earlier on. I have seen a few comments from individuals suggesting that this could be a surprise NQ. However, I think there will be enough points from enough countries to see Serbia over the line. In the final, if Teodora gets there, this may struggle a bit. But in the first semi-final tomorrow night, I think this is probably going to go through. The 5th qualifier is Luxembourg. Yes, maybe this isn't a comfortable qualifier, but it is on last in the running order. France can vote for this. No, they can't vote for it as well. Forget I said that. But yeah, this has scored pretty consistently in every category. And again, I think it's like Serbia. A few points here, a few points there. They all add up. And that could be enough to see Luxembourg just creep into the final. The 6th qualifier is Ireland. Bambi Thug, I think, is going to do it for the Irish, and I think they'll make their first final since 2018, and I think it would be justified. This is clearly standing out an absolute mile. More and more people are loving this by the second, it feels like, and it's growing on me as well. Whether or not this really strikes a chord, because I am expecting this to qualify, whether this really strikes a chord with the jury members in the final remains to be seen, but this has really shot up in people's estimations over the past week, and so I'm feeling pretty confident about Ireland making the cut, which is something I haven't said for a long time. 4, 5, 6. The 7th qualifier is Portugal, Iolanda. This is just such a beautiful song, and I think it's so simply and wonderfully executed. There's nothing messy or cluttered about this. It feels very clean and crisp and simple and highly effective in my personal opinion. Scoring highly in terms of the vocals and indeed the staging. I just think the staging is so wonderfully effortless, you know. It doesn't need to be anything different from what we had at the national final, really. It's looking very nice on that big stage. And yeah, also the stage presence. I feel as though Iolanda really owns this performance. She's really in control of everything. That leaves 3 spots left. The 8th qualifier is Slovenia. Yes, I'm as surprised as you are, because a lot of people are expecting Slovenia to miss out now, and I wouldn't be surprised. However, she's a good singer. She's got good stage presence. The song really isn't too bad. Maybe Slovenia doesn't have too many voting pals in this semi-final. There's no jury vote either. It's really touch and go, but in this prediction, Slovenia are going through. The 9th qualifier is Croatia. You were probably wondering when I was going to say Baby Lasagna Rim Tim Taggy Dim. Obviously going through very comfortably. Let down in the vocal department, but very strong elsewhere. Then we have the last qualifier, but let's go through the countries that aren't qualifying. Missing out, Moldova. Don't see a situation where Moldova go through this year. It could be a rare grand final without Moldova being involved. The staging's disappointing. The song doesn't have much love. I cannot see people gravitating towards it. Also missing out, Azerbaijan. A similar deal. I think there's a bit more love for this one. And if it goes through Ozun Leopard, fine. I'm not a big lover of it myself. I know a lot of people do enjoy it for what it is, but I don't think it stands out enough. Also missing out, Cyprus. Yes, I had this down as a qualifier for a while, and if you believe the betting odds, this is going through fairly comfortably. However, attention has shifted completely elsewhere now, and that rehearsal footage did Cyprus no favours. So as much as I like Celia Capsis, as much as I don't mind the song, putting aside personal preference, I can't see this making the cut. And it's on first. And then we also say goodbye to Iceland. There might be a bit of love for this from first-time casual viewers, but it's flat. And that is a fatal flaw. If you're having an up-tempo song, people have to be invested quite quickly, and with this Icelandic track, that's not the case. I love Iceland every year, I want them to do well, but this song ain't it, and I've not seen anybody say this is qualifying. That leaves 2 countries left, and if you've been paying attention, you'll know which countries I'm going to be talking about here. We have Australia and Poland. One of them is through in this prediction, one of them is not. The 10th and final qualifier is... It's Poland. It's Luna with the tower. I just think that because the staging is more interesting than Australia's, although the vocals shaky. The staging's arguably more intriguing and interesting to look at. And there is a diaspora vote. And that's not the sole reason I've put Poland through. I just think that even without the diaspora vote, I think people would prefer Poland over Australia. I really do. It's very close, and I don't think this is a comfortable qualifier at all, but Poland are going through. And there we have it. My prediction for semi-final 1 of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. There it is. Now let me go through it from bottom to top with the scores. So in last place, this doesn't really matter, do not take it too seriously, but in last place with a score of 57.7, Iceland. In 14th place, 58.7, Moldova. In 13th place, 60.3, Azerbaijan. In 12th place, Cyprus with a score of 63. In 11th place, Australia, 65.5. In 10th place, Luxembourg, 69. In 9th place, Slovenia, 70. In 8th place, Poland, 70.7. In 7th place, Finland, 70.8. And I was looking at this and I was really surprised. But I remember Croatia last year. That was also, you could argue, a bit of a silly song. But that song didn't go through really comfortably from what I remember. So maybe Finland won't go through really comfortably either. I don't know. Anyway, they're going through. In 6th place, Serbia, 72.8. In 5th place, this is maybe a bit generous, but it's how the prediction turned out, it's Portugal, 76.3. In 4th place, Ireland, 78.2. In 3rd place, Lithuania, 80. In 2nd place, Croatia, 89. And winning the semi-final, Ukraine, 89.3. There is 0.3 in it, which I suppose equates to maybe no more than about 10 or 15 points. Personally, I actually believe Croatia will win the semi-final, but the prediction is the prediction, you know? And the only thing that's letting Croatia down is the vocals. Croatia is above Ukraine marginally in every other category. So there we have it. I will be posting that prediction on a few other social media pages after filming this video, and I will be back, all being well, barring some sort of catastrophe. I'll be back tomorrow night, sitting here, watching my television, and waiting for the semi-final 1 results to come in, and reacting to them, and then I'll upload that video as soon as I possibly can. And then on Wednesday, I will be reviewing semi-final 1. I've already gone through this, you know what the schedule is. Hopefully the lag wasn't too bad, and look, like I always say with predictions, don't take them too seriously, they're just a bit of fun. It would be nice to get 10 out of 10, which I think I did achieve once last year, but the average is 8 out of 10, so maybe Slovenia and Poland miss out, and Australia and Cyprus go through. That wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and roll on the Eurovision Song Contest. Bye for now.